Well, welcome to a new Harry's Farm video. It's been a couple of weeks since I last did a report on the farm, and quite a lot has happened in those 2 weeks. First of all, locally we have a fun ploughing match, and you enter your best sample of wheat. Well, I only grew the one variety, so I took a bucket along, and I'm very pleased to say we got third prize. So I won third prize for winter milling wheat, which I was very pleased with. And the entry to enter the competition was £2, and the prize for coming third was £2. So that was a good result, and it was a good day out. It's the 11th of October today, and I'm loading this wheat out. So this year I grew Skyfall winter wheat, and I grew it as a feed wheat because it yields quite well, but it has this potential to make milling. And when we got the results back, ADM phoned up and said, good news, it's actually a milling wheat. It has enough protein in it. Basically, you look for protein and whether it will make that gluten. It's a Hagberg test, it's called. It's that chewing gum consistency if you mill the wheat and then mix it with water, and it goes sort of gooey like plasticine or chewing gum, something like that, and it's worth a bit more. So that was good news, and we've actually started loading lorries out to Haygate, appearing in a British loaf of bread somewhere in a shop very soon. Why you grow a milling wheat rather than the feed wheat is you actually get a bit more money for it. If I look at today's Farmers Weekly, price of milling wheat today, £143, and if I just sold it as feed, £128. So there's a reasonable premium this year because it's been chucking down with rain during harvest, and that affects the quality of the wheat. And I also love this machine. When I'm loading lorries, this is a monster bucket on this Manitou. It's slightly over-spec'd, as you probably expect with a Metcalfe machine. On the side it says 741. It means it lifts 7 metres in the air and can carry 4.1 tonnes on the front. And this is a 3 cubic metre bucket on the front. And full up like this, it's about 2.2, 2.3 tonnes of wheat per bucket. So it's only taking 13.5 buckets to fill an Arctic with 29 tonnes or something like that. It's a very satisfying job. Not many years ago I was using a bucket that took about 25 buckets to fill a lorry. To be able to fill it then with 13 buckets, 13 and a bit, it's heaven. You can get it done in like 15 minutes and the lorry's on his way. Now, I'm going to take you outside because that's basically the end of the good news. The weather has not been behaving. I was very worried because I'd booked a week off, first week of October, to do silly things on off-road motorbikes out in Spain and Portugal with some friends. And really, it's sort of the time when you might be doing some field work. You've got a lot of drilling, seeding, whatever you like to call it, to do, all the milling wheat to get in, and it hasn't stopped raining. We've had about 140, 150 mil of rain around here, and it's raining again today. And that's starting to affect things, as I'll show you now. Yeah, I'm swapping to a bike cam, helmet cam, because it is so wet out there. You can't drive around, and I could walk it, but one, it'll take a bit too long. And I'll take you on this. Right, off we go. Look at the amount of standing water we've got. It's just a joke. I think I did say 140 something mil. I think it's actually more. I think it's near 190 I saw. And it's also blowing a gale. Right. Didn't have this in Spain. It was lovely in Spain. Should have stayed another week. Right, I'm going to take you up here. First thing I'm going to show you, this ground is due into wheat. I say, this is 11th of October. Last year we were all drilled and done by the 20th of October. So now is peak drilling period, and that is just a mess. You can't go near that. See how that smears up? That smearing, that's just the mud content. Wouldn't grow. It's the worst thing you can do is try and drill wheat or barley in these sort of conditions. It never gets away. Everything struggles. You can't roll it. Slugs get it. It's just bad news. You've got to wait. One thing I have learnt, got to wait for good soil conditions, and we're weeks away from it with this. We could be, well, I can hardly get going. We could be 2-3 weeks away from drilling this, which is bad news. But I can hear it. I can hear it soggy on the front wheel. Well, look, there's standing water over there. I'll have a look at that in a minute. Right, here's the linseed, which hopefully you can see is all up in rows. You can see sort of rows there. Look how wet it is. I mean, it's standing water. It's the 11th of October and we've got that's beyond field capacity. It means that the water is so much water it can't get through. It's closed up. All the clay is closed up, and it's so frustrating. The other thing I ought to just show you, actually, do you know, I can't even ride across there. You're going to just join me in a moment. So you see how that plant is sort of white? That means that we put a herbicide on this. It's called pre-emergent herbicide. Is a good example. So, and it doesn't affect linseed. So the linseed can grow away, but any weeds coming up, they get zapped. And you can tell they've taken up the chemical because of that white heart. You see that dandelion, that whiteness there, says they've been zapped by the herbicide, the pre-emergent herbicide, which is good to see. But I really don't like that standing water. That's a shocker. The wet corner of the farm, it's just weird how some fields just hold a bit of water. There's always this corner always wants to be a pond, and here it is doing a very good pond impression. Yeah, so you normally get this sort of conditions in, well, December, January, after a serious winter rainfall. You might expect to see this, but not on the 11th of October. And yeah, farmers will be starting to get a bit grumpy because no one I know has drilled haven't drilled anything really. No winter wheat's gone in around here. And you start, ideal date last year was utterly wonderful season, and we're all done by the 20th of October. Middle of October is what everybody aims at for drilling winter wheat now, and that's where the yield comes from drilling in good conditions at that time of year. And then you start to get a shortfall in yield. The yield decline as the date slips back. So if we're drilling in November in perfect conditions, it'll grow away, etc. But I wouldn't expect it to yield quite as well than a wheat that we put in perfect conditions a month earlier. But you can't do anything about it. It's up to nature to decide when that happens. Right, but I know something else on the farm will benefit from this weather. Right, sorry to say that all the cows have now left the farm. They've all gone back, oh look at that, to calve, because we had that one calf appeared unexpectedly. They're all due to calve, and he hasn't near his house, so he's around for when they calve. I just can't get over the late flush of wildflowers we've got coming up at this time of year. The sort of colour, some of it's just, that's just a clover. Not sure what that yellow flower is there, but ever so pretty all through here. Little harebells, don't often see those. If I just go, see if I can get a bit closer. I think I've messed up. Let's have a little look. Look at those little harebells there. So you see, just down there, you can see them. Really nice. So this field, it hasn't had a trace of any sort of chemical or fertiliser on it for decades, and it's just fascinating to see what actually grows when you do that. Love these lumpy bits. I can already charge up and down them on the motorbike, but I don't want to break the surface and make a bit of mud. So I'm going to go ever so steady and go along here. Like to see if we can find some mushrooms. There's good mushrooms down here. I got a nice load of mushrooms yesterday just coming through here. Sort of end of season, but there was that one called Garden Bottom. It's a really pretty field, and I've got something that might like to come out here, and I'm just seeing if that gate is closed. I think it is. I thought I could see it, but I can't quite. Electric fence isn't on. Yeah, that's closed. Yeah, and that's Flag Slap down there. It's the end of the farm. Lovely fields these. But yeah, we've got something up the top. I think you might have seen them, I'm not sure. But they're going to come in here next. Right, let's go and give them a bit of a birthday. Wow, it's windy out here. Let's have a little look what we've got up here. Hello, alpacas. Meet the alpacas on the farm. Right, girls. So these girls, they tend to stay up here during the summer because of the cows. Now, hello. Look at that. Go in there. How do you fancy that? Having a proper field to go in. Suddenly they can have a bit of a runabout. They're not quite sure about the motorbike. Oh, I don't know if that motorbike bites. And off they go. And there you go. So there you go. All sorts happening on the farm. Not quite what I'd like to be doing. I'd rather be out drilling. But there's always something going on the farm. Hope you enjoyed this episode of Harry's Farm. If you have, keep watching, keep subscribing. More videos coming along very soon.